Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
And now, live in full color, from Television City in Hollywood, Chrysler Corporation presents Jack Benny, Liberace, Jayne Mansfield, Vincent Price, Rod McEwen, Tony O'Brien. Shower of Stars. The brightest stars of Hollywood, brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, maker of the 5 great cars of the forward look. Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial. Chrysler Corporation, the forward look. And now here is your host, Bill Lundigan.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shower of Stars. Once again, Chrysler Corporation is proud to present a man who for many years has been an outstanding comedian, an outstanding violinist, an outstanding showman, and right now he is outstanding in the hall. Will you come in and sign in, please?
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your mystery guest for the next hour. You know, this is the first Shower of Stars in 1957, and I must say that although I enjoyed the holidays, they really left me exhausted. I mean, you know, all those great, big, glamorous Hollywood parties, I'm glad they're over. I got so tired reading about them. You know, there's just so much your eyes can take. You know? But tonight, I believe we have a very good show. I hope so. And we have some of the most impressive guest stars that we've ever had. I mean, now, for music lovers, we have Liberace. For art lovers, we have Vincent Price. And for just lovers, we have Jayne Mansfield. And then from Universal International Studios, we have a very fine young actor by the name of Rod McEwen. He's 23 years old, and he reminds me very much of myself when I was his age, you see. Except that when I was 23, I was 32. And then from the Bob Crosby Show, we have the very beautiful and talented Joni O'Brien, who makes me wish that I were 23 again, you see. And, of course, all of these artists get paid. You know, they get very, very good money, and I get a little myself. So I would suggest that the next time you go in to buy your Chrysler Corporation car, that you say, not only say that Groucho sent you, tell him Benny begged you. And in that way, not only will you get a good car, but my bank book will have that forward look. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from 20th Century Fox, bring you their newest glamorous star, Miss Jayne Mansfield. Jayne, Hi, Jane. You know, this is the first time I've seen you since your brief appearance on my show. And I want to congratulate you again on your appearance in your picture, The Girl Can't Help It. I thought you were wonderful in it. And you look like $1 million.
Well, thank you, Jack. That's a wonderful compliment.
Well, I'll say it is. That's $116,000 after taxes, you know. You'll find that out as your career progresses. By the way, did you have fun making this picture?
Oh, yes. I loved every minute of it. Everyone was so wonderful. The producer, the director, all the stagehands just went out of their way to be nice to me. In fact, do you know that they followed me home every night?
Well, of course, they have such a friendly bunch, you know, at 20th Century Fox.
I noticed a couple of Paramount fellas in the crowd, too.
So did I. I wish you wouldn't walk quite that fast. I'm still out of breath. But tell me, Jane, what qualities does a man need to attract a very, very pretty girl like yourself? Take me, for instance. What would you expect of me, let me say?
Oh, well... Well, I'd expect you to be pleasant.
Yes.
Courteous.
Yes.
Considerate.
Yes.
Generous. Attentive.
Yes.
You missed a beat.
Well, I got 4 out of 5. I only missed one.
I know, but if you'd gotten that one, you wouldn't have needed the other 4.
Now, wait a minute. Jane, you mean to say that a girl would only go out with me on account of my money or something?
Oh, no, Jack. No, I wouldn't say that. Why, lots of girls don't even care about money.
Yes, I've seen those girls, and they look like nothing.
Well, you know, you go into a bookstore, you want to buy the best book, it'll cost you the most money.
I don't want to buy. I just want to browse around. But, Jane, you know, I know that we're taking up a little time here, and I would like to discuss the sketch that we're going to do later in the show, the play with you. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I will meet you in the cafe across the street, and we'll discuss this play we're going to do over a cup of coffee. You know?
Oh, fine. I'd love some coffee.
Oh, well, good. I'll buy you a cup, too. All right. And I'll see you.
See you later.
Okay. Goodbye. Wonderful girl, really. I've only talked to her 5 minutes. She already has me hooked for a cup of coffee. There goes my first New Year's resolution. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of the outstanding personalities and showmen of this year or any year, the great Liberace.
just a moment, we'll return to the second act of Shower of Stars. And now your host, Bill Lundigan.
Hi, Lee. Hello, Jack. You know, I just got back in time to hear the finish of your number. It was great.
Thank you. You say you just got back. Where were you?
I was over in a cafe with Jayne Mansfield. You know, I think she's kind of stuck on me. She let me buy her a cup of coffee.
Oh. Well, after the show tonight, she's letting me take her out to dinner.
Well, say, you are generous.
If you got that one, you don't need the other 4.
I know.
You see, I didn't miss a beat.
No. Say, by the way, where is your brother George?
Oh, he's around here somewhere. George is so excited about the sketch. You know, it's the first time he's ever had a speaking part.
Oh, yeah. What was that line we gave him again?
Well, it comes where I say, "Isn't that so, George?" And he says, "Right."
You know, it's a shame we have to change the scene and we have to take out that word. It's too bad.
Oh, I wish you'd told him that sooner. He's been rehearsing all week.
Rehearsing all week for the one word?
It took him 3 days just to get his mouth open. Yeah. And I know he's going to be so disappointed. But,
You got another line that's very funny, if you'll remember. He had laryngitis all year before he noticed it.
That's right.
Somebody better get the laugh on this thing. Well, Lee, I'll tell you what. I'll call George out and I'll tell him about this change.
Oh, I'm sure glad you don't have...
Oh, George! George, come here a minute, will you, please? How are you, George?
Right.
You know, I have a bit of sad news for you.
Right.
We had to change the scene, so we, had to take out your line.
Right.
Shame. He does it so well.
He's brilliant.
Well, he should know. Fellas, I have to introduce the next entertainer now, so you wait here, will you? And I'll just introduce...
Right.
Catching. Ladies and gentlemen, in introducing this next young artist, I want to say that he's already a very, very fine actor at the age of 23. And he'll soon be seen in his Universal International picture called Rock Pretty Baby. And he's not only an actor, but he's a singer, and he's a songwriter, and he's a poet and an author. The things that he does. Mr. Rod McCune. You know, Rod, I cannot get over it. It amazes me how versatile you are. I mean, besides being an actor, to be a poet and a singer and a songwriter and an author. I mean, is there anything that you can't do?
Well, Jack, I can't play the violin.
Well, would you be interested in taking lessons? See, 3 nights a week with his own rosin. I have enough competition the way it is. Say, Rod, how about singing that number that became so popular, the one you recorded called Happy as a Boy Named Me? Huh?
Well, Jack, when I wrote and recorded this number, it was a solo. And tonight I think I'd like to try it as a duet.
Well, of course, I don't sing very well, but if you want me,
I mean, with Joni O'Brien. She's waiting backstage, and we've got a great arrangement.
Oh, well, then I'll introduce her.
Oh, fine.
You just stay over here and wait. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Bob Crosby Show, this very talented and beautiful young lady, Miss Joni O'Brien. Talented, yes, but Bob, I introduced Joni.
Well, Jack, Joni O'Brien has been with me for 3 years on daytime TV, and this being a nighttime television show and her first big break, I thought she'd feel a lot more comfortable if I were to introduce her.
Oh, well, go right ahead. I'll just wait right over here. Then.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, first, I would like to thank the wonderful fans who look in on my program. Seen every day, Monday through Friday. I'd like to thank them for their very kind letters, for their loyalty, and for their grateful appreciation. It is very flattering to a performer like myself, who is on the air so very often, to know that I am ever welcome into your home. I have always tried to bring you the very, very best in musical entertainment. And your continued interest in the Bob Crosby program has proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that I have had some small measure of success.
Who is he introducing?
Himself.
But I am not here to talk about the Bob Crosby show. I am here to talk about one of the entertainers on the Bob Crosby show. Oh, and if I must say this, I'm so proud of my show. It is so gratifying to an individual like me to realize that the work, the results of his energy and his efforts are so universally appreciated. Hey, Jack?
Right.
But as I told you before, I am here tonight to make Joni O'Brien of the Bob Crosby program feel a little more comfortable. Joni O'Brien of the Bob Crosby Show.
Do you mind if I take over from here?
Well, if you think you can make it, Dad, go ahead. Be nice to her. Well, good luck, Joni.
Joni, would you like to sing a duet with Rod McCune?
Oh, I'd love to.
Well, go right ahead. He thought I couldn't make it.
Happy are the hands that yours hold on to.
Well, happy are the eyes that your eyes see.
Happy is the girl that you belong to.
Happy is a boy named me.
Happy is a girl named me.
Happy is the sky that shines upon you.
Happy is the day that knows your side.
Happy is a boy that you belong to.
Happy, oh happy am I.
Happy, oh happy am I. I never knew about spring before you came.
I never knew what your smile could do.
Well, now all the rivers are a-singing your name, and spring is so much the likes of you. Happy, 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 happy. Happy are the hands that yours hold on to.
Happy are the eyes that your eyes see.
Happy is a boy that you belong to.
Happy is a girl named me.
Happy is a boy named me.
Happy are the hills where you go walking. Happy is the world wherever you be.
Happy is a boy who sits here talking.
Happy is a girl.
Happy is a boy.
Happy.
Oh, happy are we. Happy are we.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the cultural part of our program. Our next guest is that celebrated actor and art lover you've seen so many, many times on the $64,000 challenge. His contest with Edward G. Robinson and jockey Bill Pearson will go down in history alongside of the Lincoln-Douglas debates, the Dempsey-Purple fight, and the Georgie Jessel-Rita Hayworth romance. Here he is, that walking book of knowledge, Mr. Vincent Price. I mean, what's the idea of the isolation booth? Huh?
Well, Jack, I've done so well in here, I just hate to come out.
Imagine. Vincent, tell me. Vincent, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh. Vincent, I'm sure that our viewers would like to know how it feels being in an isolation booth. I mean, what are your views?
Well, Jack, it's very cozy. There's a lot of privacy in here, and you don't have to worry about people dropping in on you. I look at it as my home away from home.
Well, Vincent, you have been in as many isolation booths, probably as any living contestant, you know. And have you any preference? I mean, is there any isolation booth that you like best?
Oh, definitely, yes. I favor the mahogany above all other types. Of course, walnut is good and white oak isn't bad, but don't let anyone try to sell you a maple isolation booth.
Oh, I won't. I mean, they'll never trick me into that. Well, I think we've milked this gag long enough. So you can come out.
Jack, I'd rather not. You see, I suffer from agoraphobia.
What's that?
It's the opposite of claustrophobia.
What's that?
Well, rather than explain, I'll come out.
Did you pick those up in Bermuda?
Oh, no, Jack. These are isolation booth shorts. All the contestants are wearing them. They're the very latest thing in quiz clothes.
I thought you were on another show, Lose Your Pants. But they're lovely.
Yes, I don't know what I would do without them, Jack.
It must be a great help, to have the air, whipping around your knees when you're in there thinking of some hard, difficult question or something. Yes, I imagine. But, you really amaze me. I didn't know that you were that clever, that you knew so much about art.
Oh, Jack, art has been my hobby all my life. In fact, you might say my perennially dedicated avocation.
Well, you might say it. I wouldn't.
Jack, do you collect pictures?
Oh, a little. I mean, as a matter of fact, last summer I was in Rome, and I made a television film, which incidentally will be shown, this Rome film will be shown on my Lucky Strike show Sunday night, you see. And so, of course, while I was there, I collected a few pictures.
Oh, did you happen to collect a Da Vinci or a Verrocchio or a Modigliani?
No, but I have a Lola Brigia that's a loon.
I thought you had something really exciting.
Vincent, you've been in that booth too long. Listen, speaking of art, I'd like to tell you something. I don't know whether you know this about me or not, but next Thursday night, I'm giving a concert in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Orchestra directed by Alfred Wallenstein, you see. And as a matter of fact, it's the same concert that I recently gave in Carnegie Hall where I played Mendelssohn.
Oh, yes, I remember reading the review in the New York Times. It said that Mendelssohn lost.
Oh, I've beaten the best of them. If I can make the weight, I'm going to take on Rimsky-Korsakov. Now, Vincent, you see, later on in the show, you see, you're going to play the part in our sketch of a district attorney. so it would be asking you too much if you put on trousers.
Oh, not at all, Jack. In fact, I brought a pair along for just such an emergency.
Oh, well, good. I would suggest that you put them on right away so you'll get used to working in them.
All right.
Now, be careful when you hit the freeway. I imagine that...
But it's easy to find out for yourself why so many people are switching to the cars of the forward look. Visit your dealer this weekend and see how styling and engineering leadership has built more value into Chrysler Corporation cars. See, drive, and compare. Switch to the 1957 cars from Chrysler Corporation, Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial. Ladies and gentlemen, we now utilize the various and somewhat dissimilar talents of Jack Benny, Liberace, Jayne Mansfield, Vincent Price in a stirring courtroom drama. We take you now to the courtroom where the trial is about to begin.
Very nice courtroom. Here, there's the judge's stand, the witness box. Hey, look at those two pictures. A $1 bill and a 5. Tell me, Miss Blackstone, are you nervous?
Oh, no, not at all. I just know I'm going to have you completely cleared of your murder charge.
Good. Good. Yeah, tell me, Miss Blackstone, how did a pretty girl like you happen to become a lawyer?
Well, I didn't want to be just a dumb blonde. And besides, I've always admired Louis Pasteur.
Yes, he was a fine lawyer. Now, I'm terribly worried about our district attorney. You know, they say he's very tricky and he won't, he just won't give up.
I know. I went out with him once.
Well, Miss Blackstone, we meet again.
Yes, Mr. Finster, I certainly hope you conduct yourself better in a courtroom than you do in a taxi cab.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that we're in court now, and it'll take more than a slap in the face, a few scratches, and a loud scream to defeat me this time. Mr. Barkley, if you will change your plea to guilty and save the state the expense of a trial, I'll see to it that all you get is 50 years.
50 years? Yeah, I'll be 89 when I get out.
Before or after taxes?
Mr. Finster, you're in violation of every code of ethics and court procedure. I demand that you leave my client alone, or I'll make a motion for a mistrial.
Very well, if that's the way you want it. But don't think a pretty face will save you.
Thank you.
Not yours, hers.
Court attention. All rise. The Supreme Court of the State of California is now in session. The Honorable Judge Stanley Baldwin presiding.
People of the state of California versus John Barkley.
Is the district attorney ready?
Ready, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Not quite, Sidney.
Take your time, dear.
Your Honor, I object.
Objection overruled.
But, Your Honor.
Shut up. People just can't take overruled for an answer, eh, George?
Tell me, Miss Blackstone, how do you happen to know the judge so well?
He's generous.
Oh.
Your Honor, the defense is now ready.
Thank you, darling. The clerk will call the jury. Jury will enter and be seated.
The jury bothers me.
Oh, no, don't worry. I picked every one of them myself, and I think they're going to be on our side.
Maybe I shouldn't worry.
Your Honor, I object to that jury. Who's defending our shores?
The court objects to the objection on the grounds that it's objectionable. Eh, George? Proceed with the case.
Gentlemen of the Navy, I mean jury. On the afternoon of November 10th, 1956, Humphrey T. Fowler was shot to death in the cafe which he owned in conjunction with his partner, the defendant John Barclay. Now, the defendant's beautiful counsel will try and tell you that Barclay shot Fowler in self-defense. Huh. But don't you believe her.
While the court agrees and sympathizes with the jury, it must uphold the dignity and decorum of this jurisprudence. There will be no more hissing, gentlemen. It looks lousy. You may call your first witness.
Well, Officer Coleman, please take the stand.
Mr. Barclay, I know we can't lose, but in case we do, could you please pay me my fee now?
What do you want from me? First coffee, now this.
Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Take stand.
Officer, will you please tell the court what happened on the afternoon of November 10th, 1956?
I was in my prowl car. The time was 4:03. I got a 501 at 602 108th Street. I made the arrest at 4:07, was back on duty at 5:09.
Can you please tell the court exactly what happened in your own numbers?
Well, I got this 4:07 at 5:21 to proceed to 846 109th Street. That was the cafe. Mr. Fowler was lying on the floor dead.
Now, did you see the defendant?
Yes, sir. He was standing over the body with a smoking revolver in his right hand and his left hand in the cash register.
Is it a crime to be left-handed?
Your witness?
No questions.
In that case, officer, 23 skidoo.
Now, if it please the court, I would like my client to take the stand.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Hi, fellas. I was in the Navy myself. Great Lakes Training Station.
Your Honor, I object.
The defendant will please refrain from trying to influence the jury and leave that to his lawyer, who is much better qualified to do the job. Sure is a lot better than traffic court, eh, George?
Suppose you tell the court what really happened the night your partner was killed.
Well, a customer came into our cafe and ordered a cheeseburger sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Please continue.
Well, while I put the cheeseburger on the fire, the customer laid 20 cents on the counter. See? So I saw my partner ring up a no sale on the cash register and put the money in his pocket.
Uh-huh. And then what happened?
Well, I felt that half of the 20 cents was mine, so during the struggle, my gun went off.
Your witness?
Isn't it a fact that the night before the murder you had a violent quarrel with your partner?
Well, of course, it's no secret that there has been friction between he and I.
You mean between him and me?
Yes, between him and me. Well, anyway, I was in the other room there, laying down for a while, when
You mean you were lying down?
When suddenly my partner walked in, so I got up and I took off my apron and lied it on the table.
You mean you laid it
Now
on
cut that out!
My client is on trial for the murder of his partner, not the English language.
Objection sustained and overruled. The court must remain impartial.
Gentlemen of the jury, as district attorney, it is my duty to prosecute the state's case against John Barclay to the limits of my ability. It is not the nicest thing in the world to send a man to his death in the gas chamber.
It stings.
But we must suppress our personal feelings and weigh the facts of this case in the cold light of reason. We must look upon the defendant, John Barclay, not as a fellow human, not as a member of our community, but as a brutal, callous, ungrammatical murderer. And so, gentlemen, when you go into that jury room, remember it is the duty of every individual to uphold the law, no matter what the consequences to the culprit may be, so that the safety of our system may be upheld. And, gentlemen, when you come out of that room, I beg you, I beseech you to bring back a verdict of guilty and wipe this blot from the escutcheon of society. Don't I remind you a teensy-weensy bit of Clarence Darrow?
Your Honor, I object. The district attorney is padding his part.
Objection sustained. Strike out that last gag. The counsel for the defense may proceed with her summation.
Boys, I'm not going to call you gentlemen of the jury because I feel that I know you all too well. Eddie, Joe, Steve, Tom, Dave, Mike, Pat, Sidney, Matt, Cyril, Herman, Julius. My client is accused of murder. Now, does he look like a murderer? Look at him. Look at him.
Fellas, look at me. Oh, well, it's for my own good.
Boys, I address you not only as a lawyer, but as a girl. A girl alone and beset by a cruel and heartless district attorney. Isn't it only fitting and proper that I should turn for help to 12 red-blooded American boys? The district attorney has strived to convict my client. He's used every trick shown us all his while. My client. Plain, hard-working, conscientious, law-abiding citizen. I want you to listen to him as he makes one last plea for his life.
Fellas, this is more than just a man on trial for his life. This is the story of my lawyer. A sweet young girl who is merely trying to win a lousy murder case. If you come in with a
If you come in with a verdict of guilty, you will not only be sending me to the gas chamber, but look what you will be doing to her. I'm not pleading for myself, because I'll be gone. Not so loud. My worst will be over. But then she'll have to go through the rest of her life thinking about losing this case. Fellas, you cannot let her down.
Gentlemen of the jury, you have heard the evidence on both sides, and I wish you would come to a speedy and just decision. The reason I ask you for speed is because tonight I must leave for Palm Springs, where I'm opening at the Chi-Chi Cafe for a 10-day engagement. After that, I have a one-nighter in Salt Lake City, after which I go to Chicago for an engagement at the Chez Paris. Now, if you happen to be in any of these places, please drop in and see me. I'm sure you will be well entertained. Thank you, gentlemen. And now will you retire to the jury room and come back with your verdict?
Boys, you don't have to go into the jury room. Why don't the 13 of us just stay right here and give our verdict now?
Right. That word was cut.
Proceed with the verdict.
Your Honor, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Hooray for the United States Navy.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Why are you celebrating?
Well, I like to be on the winning side.
In just a moment, you'll meet Sylvia Sidney, Leif Erikson, June Lockhart, and Cameron Prudhomme in a preview of next week's exciting climax program. But first, your host, Bill Lundigan. Look, this clock is turning time back.
We want to take you back to an important date. That was the date that Chrysler Corporation first showed you this. Push-button drive control. Simply push a button, and away you go. Simple, mechanical, push-button driving first from Chrysler Corporation. But that was 14 months ago. Since then, Chrysler Corporation push-button controls have been proved in nearly 1 million cars of the forward look that have been driven over 5 billion miles. And for 1957, Chrysler Corporation's push-button control has been teamed with a great new transmission, new push-button torque flight.
99% of your driving is done with just the D button. But you also have 2 bonus buttons for extreme driving conditions like rocking out of mud, sand, or snow. Or for extra braking effect when you're going down a very steep hill. This new, more advanced push-button control is yours with push-button torque flight. The best combination of smoothness and acceleration in cars today. And look where it's located. At the left, safely out of the reach of children.
This coming weekend, make a date with your dealer to try new push-button torque flight. It's another example of Chrysler Corporation's engineering leadership. Remember, only Chrysler Corporation makes push-button driving available to you in every model, in every price range. Ladies and gentlemen, next on Climax, the gold dress. It's the compelling story of a woman's love which endures even after her death. Sylvia Sidney plays the part of Luella Wheaton, the possessive heiress who refuses to let death end her love for Richard Carmichael, played by Leif Erikson.
Luella, there's something that I've got to say. It's terribly important that I say it now. I'm going to marry Janice Marshall.
Richard, you can't. You belong to me. I'll never let you go, never.
June Lockhart, as Janice Marshall, the girl Richard loves, also warns him of Luella's sinister power.
Don't you know, Richard, Luella's dangerous. She's trying to possess you. Oh, Richard, once and for all, I want you to leave her.
Even Judge Marshall, played by Cameron Prudhomme, senses that Luella is the last of a violent and powerful family, will stop at nothing.
Luella, you know that your family, the Whedons, never let go. Not even in death.
There's no power in the world that can keep Richard from me.
Next week on Climax, Stephen Vincent Benet's famous story, The Gold Dress, starring Sylvia Sidney, Leif Erikson, June Lockhart, Cameron Prudhomme. Incidentally, to you folks in the Washington, D.C. area, I'll be at your auto show tomorrow and Saturday and hope that you'll drop in and say hello. Now, this is Bill Lundigan saying thank you and think twice when driving. Once for the other guys.
Coming on Climax, January 24th, Circle of Destruction, starring Dale Robertson, Beulah Bondi, Skip Homeyer, Joe Mantell, Karen Steele, and featuring Terry Belliver and Peggy Morris. Tower of Stars has been brought to you by Chrysler Corporation, maker of these 5 great cars. Plymouth, Dodge, DeSoto, Chrysler, and the exclusive Imperial. The Forward Look, Chrysler Corporation. Art Gilmore speaking. Portions of the preceding program were pre-recorded. Shower of Stars has been selected for viewing by our armed forces overseas and is a CBS television network production.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. I am joined by Terry Phillips. Hey, Terry.
Hello.
And, of course, Kathy Fuller-Seeley. Hello, Kathy.
Hey, welcome. It's a football ball. So.
Go football. Well, I'm going to try and enjoy this next Seahawks game for me because that's later tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be. But they won the first 3 in a row and then lost their next 3 in a row.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
We're doing so well.
Oh
it was
no!
Crash and burn. Now we got some really tough teams to play. So I don't know.
Well, my university's team's been so bad for so long. I have 200 freshmen this fall in a course, and they're just gobsmacked to be at to be their first semester at college, and their team is right now #1 in the country. So I'm happy for them to get to experience the classic college.
Very good. That's awesome. Anyway, the show we're presenting today is Shower of the Stars, and it's from 1957. It's from January something.
10th.
January 10th. Very good. 1957. And it truly is a shower of stars on this one. We'll just start chatting about it. Vincent Price is on here and does a really nice. Vincent Price almost never ceases to amaze me. I just don't see him enough outside of the serious kind of horror acting roles and things that he would do, that when I do see him appear on a show, I'm always, I never know what I'm going to get. And so I'm always surprised by his level, his quality of acting and how he can adapt to whatever he's in so well. Um, because really my first experience with him that I can think of was uh, on the Brady Bunch Hawaiian adventure where they go to Hawaii and Greg falls off his surfboard because he's got a tiki thing that's cursed, and so they have to take it back to like uh, a cemetery or something to get it uncursed. But staying in that cemetery uh, is Vincent Price, and they run into Vincent Price, and 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 Vincent Price does a good job of being, just starting off being, using his horror stuff or whatever, where he seems menacing and the kids are scared and blah blah blah. And it even scared me as a kid a little bit, I think. And then later on, he becomes a complete goofball pretty much, and it was all a act or whatever. And so that was just kind of fun to be exposed to him that way. But then to experience him in The Fly and all these other things that he did was really different. I was watching him recently on The Last Man on Earth, which is the I Am Legend story by Matheson. I forget what his first name is, but anyway, he was writer.
Richard.
Yeah, Richard Matheson, who wrote a bunch of the Twilight Zone episodes, the second most prolific writer on Twilight Zone after Rod Serling, and just had some wonderful shows. And I'm pretty sure he did an episode of Star Trek that's widely regarded. I want to say it's the episode with the two Captain Kirks where he gets separated in the transporter thing and becomes the soft and mellow Captain Kirk that you think is going to be the one who can run the ship and do everything, but without his darker side, it's hard for him to make decisions and things. And then you've got the Captain Kirk that is the evil or dark side of Captain Kirk, but who is decisive in things. And it was just interesting to break that dichotomy. And usually I'm so used to a writer treating everything as black and white, and this is the good and this is the bad. But in this case, to have both of them have important things and see that they really need to be merged back together in order for the character to work, I thought was brilliant writing. Now, chances are that I went all into that. That's probably the wrong episode that he didn't even write, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm about 80% there. Anyway, I know he wrote one of those episodes, and then so he writes this novel, I Am Legend, and it gets adapted 3 different times at least on film. The first one being the Vincent Price one, which is considered by a lot of people to be the best one. So if you haven't watched that one, try and find it. It's definitely on the internet the Internet Archive. It's on there somewhere. Though of course they've been crashed all week, so I don't know. They were intact and they still aren't back up 100%. They're partially up, but yeah. I know, right? Well, and there's someone on there. I'll just mention to my folks because I've been sending the links out to people, but who's been posting just like so many classic film. I mean, like thousands of classic films that are just, and they're gorgeous. I mean, the quality is great and everything. But that person was taken down, and then they came. I thought it was humorous because the person like had I forget what the person's name was. It was like, I want to say Jake somebody, and then he gets, apparently it looks like he must have gotten banned or removed or something from Internet Archive, probably posting things that he wasn't supposed to. But then he comes back and he's now the ghost of Jake. So and start posting all the same stuff again. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to keep on getting thrown off, but he's not the reason it crashed. But I can't get to his movies now anyway. But for long, what I was doing was I would put on a episode of like Lux Radio Theater, where we have a film by somebody, whatever. I'd have Jimmy Stewart film that I'm doing, but I wouldn't want to share that particular Jimmy Stewart film, because I'm like, well, then you might watch the film instead of listening to the Lex. So then I would put another big film by that actor, and it was so great because you can always find them. They're all listed by actor over there on Internet Archive, and so I just do a link to that, and then people could listen to the Lex Radio and then follow it with a double feature by watching one of their big movies. But I haven't been able to do that in the past few weeks because either the guy's account's been gone or Internet Archive has crashed. So hopefully they'll be back. Anyway, moving for oh no, I know I wasn't finished what that was. I said it was I Am Legend was the first one with Vincent Price, and then Charlton Heston redid it as Omega Man in 70 something. And then it was redone with Will Smith doing it a decade ago or something like that, maybe a little less than that. And Will Smith's version was really good. So really, I enjoy all three versions. They're all three different, and so go out there and find those. But now let's continue with the show. So let's go to Kathy and get Kathy's thoughts on what she liked.
Again, thank you. I'd not seen this one before, although maybe a million years ago you showed it to us, but I was very glad to revisit it. Yeah. It was better than, it had many interesting moments, lots of stars and lots of interesting moments. Yes. I actually liked Jayne Mansfield's performance in the courtroom sketch later on. She actually, I didn't know where she was looking to see her lines. She may have actually memorized them. So yeah. She had her act together, and I thought it was a good performance from her, although a chip on my shoulder that she's the poor man's, Marilyn Monroe. Yes. And that she's there for the shape of her body, not for her acting talent. But so she surprised me at being better than I thought she was going to be. And Vincent Price was indeed amazing. I had not known that he had appeared on any of the quiz shows that were so very popular at the time. This episode was a great reminder of what a cultural juggernaut the primetime big money quiz shows were at the time. But it reminded me again in the courtroom sketch of how Jack used Vincent in the several repeats of the auditioning for a play. Right. A skit that he did originally with Claudette Colbert and then with Irene Dunn, that he made a fine, erudite actor who was feeling far superior to Jack. So,
which I love, which he does a great job with.
And I was curious, because as you were talking about Vincent Price's later history, where he was comfortable with parodies of himself and just making fun of the fact, I've been in a lot of horror films. Do you all know of any time when he's the hero? Did he ever appear in a movie or, because I think of him as this gothic bad guy or,
well, definitely he was the hero in the movie I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of the few times I can think of him playing a straight out hero character, but he was definitely that. Because that movie is essentially, I mean, you could see why it would get remade 3 times, in that it is an actor specific. It's like Tom Hanks on The Island, the whatever that movie was with Wilson, the ball is the only other character that you have for a long period of the film.
Castaway.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And but it's a tour de force for any actor, and so you're like, oh yeah, I want to make that because everybody else on the planet is supposedly gone. So you by definition you're pretty much on your own. So it makes it for a unique watching experience, and to see Vincent pulling that off, like you say, I was so used to seeing him either as a heavy or as a comedic thing on various guest appearances he did on television. To see him in a serious role where he's the main hero type person.
I always enjoy when Jack and his writers come up with it's Jack against some educated character, whether it's Ronald Colman here or Vincent Price, the way they can particularly put him down and make Jack seem small.
Yes.
And I would also just like to mention, all this, I was really interested to see Liberace's performance,
Yes.
trying to understand what made Liberace so popular with audiences. And I love the fact that they have him be the secret, the boyfriend of Jayne Mansfield in the courtroom scene, but wearing his glittery cape. So and then to listen to him playing, because I would never on purpose search out a Liberace performance. It's just not my jam. But to sort of see how to popular America he gets to be the virtuoso, making the music interesting and how they dress it up with the dancers.
Well, I started thinking about as I'm watching him, I was thinking the exact same thing you were like, okay, what was so special about this guy? And then watching him play the piano and his little flourishes that he would do everywhere, I was thinking, what would stop like some bass player in some band to add little finger things that he would do at the end while he's playing his bass lines to look like, oh, this is dramatic. And then but you could be a Liberace bass player if you wanted to be. So, but almost any instrument, you could do those because those things weren't necessary. I mean, he could just play. Most people just play the song straight.
Hey, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
That's.
But Jimi Hendrix, though, it wasn't just flourishes; it was actually crazy playing that he did. Whereas I would say
Townsend,
Liberace was a little bit of both. I mean, he would play really aggressively I mean, that's what attracted him to him too. But the little hand stuff that he does and everything's crazy. But and then seeing his brother that he mentions like forever, and we hardly ever see him, but his brother actually is on there and has his one line, but he has that one line many, many times.
Right.
Right. Well, Terry, what stood out in this one for you?
Well, before we get away from him, I mean, Liberace demonstrated that he was a triple threat. He was a great, dramatic pianist. He was a comic actor, and he was a dancer. Who knew?
Yeah.
Not going to say that I'd be signing up to go see him dance, but he could do that. His brother was also, well, let's quickly point out that there were 3 accomplished violinists in this episode. Jack Benny, of course.
Well, that's pushing it.
Jayne Mansfield played the violin. Who knew?
Yeah.
And George Liberace was a very accomplished, and if he had a professional talent above all others, it was that he was a great violinist.
Yeah.
And he could say right. The bit with Jack Benny coming in and signing his name was obviously a reference to What's My Line, which had been on during this time slot at one point. It was on Thursday nights. I think it was during the 8:30 to 9:30 time. It might have started at 9. I can't remember, but it was only a half hour. But they of course had their mystery guest sign in, and the other reference to another TV show, or maybe it was his radio show, was Groucho Marx. You bet.
You Bet Your Life. Selling
who was sponsored by DeSoto Plymouth, and he would say, "Tell him Groucho sent you." And so when Jack said, "Don't just tell him Groucho sent you. Tell him Jack Benny begged you to
that was
buy one of their cars."
I love that bit.
This being the shower of stars, the other star who showed up was, and I use the term star advisedly, was Rod McEwen. Yes, he was big, but really, Rod McEwen, a star?
Yeah. At 23. At 23. So.
Yeah. He was broadly mocked for his poetry and everything else he did on stage. Not that he was without talent, but he was an acquired taste and a specific kind of performer.
Which
who,
I
again,
guess
did more than one thing, but
which then pairing him with Liberace, I guess, is a inspired strange choice.
yes. There was a reference to St. George and the Dragonet. I wrote a note and I can't remember what it was now. Oh, it was all the numbers when the policeman is on the stand. He says it was, you know, at 11:02 and it was a 4:03 and
Yes.
whatever. Stan Freberg, so that's a reference to Dragnet, and Stan Freberg had done that sort of thing a few years earlier in his record, St. George and
parody
the
of
Dragonet.
Dragnet. Yeah.
And then a couple of little flubs that I wanted to point out, since this is our version of IMDb, right? We've got to have the goofs.
Yes.
At first, when Liberace came out, I thought, well, where's the candelabra? Doesn't he always have a candelabra on the piano? Well, he didn't have it on the piano, but then his brother George put it on the judge's bench, which I thought was just perfect.
Yeah.
During the courtroom scene, Jayne Mansfield refers to the judge as Sidney, but his name was Stanley, but there was a Sidney on the jury. So I think maybe she just got confused.
Yeah.
I don't think she was intending to be a dumb blonde by giving him the wrong name. And then finally, Vincent Price had a line that kind of got lost. He, while the audience is laughing, he had made some reference to something or other, and then he said to Jack Benny, "Is that before or after taxes?" And I didn't understand why that was funny. It was meant to be a laugh line, but because it got covered up by the audience actually laughing, I couldn't really tell why it was funny, but I'm sure it was.
Well, I know that at this point, taxes on salaries were something like 95%.
Yeah.
And entertainers were especially vocal about how upset they were about this.
Yeah.
I think it was Red Skelton demanded that whichever network he worked for put wood parquet floor down in the front hallway of his house instead of paying him, so that he wouldn't get hit with the 95% tax.
And then isn't that why Jack Benny formed a corporation?
Yes, that's how CBS lured him away. They and their accountants said, if we form you a corporation, you'll only get taxed at capital gains and not the 95%. So we could pay you a big chunk of money and lure you to come over to us. So
yeah, because there's no way they're going to pay anybody a huge amount of money back then, straight income, because all the money they're just paying the government because it's like the actors seeing very little difference.
And so that's why we see on television so often in the 50s that we'll find on the Benny show that he has a performer on, and then Benny's going to be on their show.
Yes.
So to avoid paying each other, they would do this swap out. So
yeah, and that was done less later on when the
once the tax rate went down. So,
yeah. I thought I'd mention a little bit about Jayne Mansfield for a second. You were saying when she plays the violin at some point. So she was really playing, we believe.
Yeah. She was a violin.
It looked like it. So that even frustrates me more about Jack and this whole thing with Jayne Mansfield, because he later, you were saying how Kathy was pointing out how Jayne Mansfield was sometimes seen as a cheaper knockoff or whatever of Marilyn Monroe. Well, after Marilyn Monroe passed, Jack wanted to film the episode that Marilyn Monroe was in, and he got Jayne Mansfield to play essentially the Marilyn Monroe part, but they did it exactly like the original, pretty much. They'd also lost Mr. Kitzel in that time, so they replaced him for the first time that I'd ever seen it as Schlepperman directly replacing Kitzel. Kitzel was sort of considered a replacement for Schlepperman, but not vice versa, played by Sam Hearn, of course. But as I was watching this, I was like, oh, they missed an opportunity. They could have had Jack, because he's supposed to be falling in love sort of with this woman, with the Jayne Mansfield character, the Marilyn Monroe character. But how they could have set it apart is they could have had her, he's like seeing her and she's his vision of perfection. Well, Jack's vision of perfection would be a beautiful woman like her playing the violin. And that if she'd done that on that episode, it would have distinguished the episode from the first one. It would have made her seem like, oh wow, they actually used something, that a talent she has to create a little twist on the episode, and it would have made it, I think, so much better to do that. But probably they'd forgotten, or since this wasn't written by the writers on the regular show, I don't know, unless Jack would have mentioned it.
Her career was taking a nosedive by the time that she appeared on Jack's show that second time. So
Jayne, Jayne Mansfield, right? So, but if she played the violin, that could have helped her a little bit, maybe, or shown, hey, I got some talents here, put me on something. But anyway, so that is always a little bit of a, I don't know, awkward thing, replacing two of your actors that have passed away that were on the live version of the show with two completely different actors for the filmed remake of that episode. But
do the two of you see the strong resemblance between Jayne Mansfield and her daughter, Mariska Hargitay? As time goes on, she looks more and more like her mom. I think.
Yeah. But she didn't know her. I mean, she was
no, she was an infant.
Young, wasn't she? Was very young when Jayne passed. So
I was just to show my amazing intelligence. I was almost going to say, didn't she pass before she was born? But that would not have worked. I don't think. Logistically,
you never know.
It's a Hollywood thing. They can do that.
And that's an extreme, an extreme Nepo baby. All right. So.
Anyway, onward and upward. Kathy, what were the reviews like on this thing?
You know, I didn't find any reviews of this. Okay. I think at this point, I know Variety was usually only doing first episodes of a season. They didn't come back, and so I may find one later, and then I'll slip it to you to put in the on YouTube in the show credits. But one did not jump out.
Okay, all good. And then I was going to hop back on the Vincent Price part for just a second. The one thing I might have done differently, and you guys can tell me if it would have made more sense or less sense, but I was thinking as he was in the booth, and then he comes out in the shorts, which I thought was great. But I thought, I didn't notice how low the booth was or wasn't. I don't know if you saw any of his pants in the booth, because if you saw a little bit of his pants, then I could see why the shorts were. But I thought if he just came out in like boxer shorts and just said, oh, I wasn't ready because usually I stay in the booth the whole time. I didn't expect you to have me come out or something. I thought that could have even been funnier in boxer shorts. Just a visual of Vincent Price in boxer shorts.
Well, Daryl, being a writer,
there you go.
I think I can confirm that they were right and you were wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he also could have had shorter socks. So you're right. Just showing more leg might have been.
He got like that's much space of leg.
Oh well, but at least he had bony knees to make that work.
Yes, and it was funny. So I enjoyed that whole piece. So yeah, and then I'm trying to figure out if that was before, if this episode was before or after Jack's 64. Not the $64,000 question. Which one was it? Where he had
the one with
in isolation.
Hal March? The one with Hal March, right?
Yeah. Well, no, Hal March is. Did he actually put Hal March in the isolation booth at some point?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was trying to remember whether he did that.
They had the props sitting around, so.
Well, yeah,
I think it was the same. Yeah, the same one.
Yeah. And so I don't know which episode happened first between those two, but I assume the Hal March one. I bet it came later. I bet this.
Hal March. No, it was, well, the first one was June 1st, 52. And then he appeared again October 20th, 57.
That's the one.
So that was after that. So this was January 57. And if he's on the show again, sort of showing the mania for these nighttime quiz programs.
Jack probably remembered that they had this booth. Let's use that booth.
It's kicking around the back closet at Television City. Let's
Shower of the Stars doesn't need that booth anymore. We can use it. Save us some production time. And let them come up with the spinning wall of I do love that one, with the whole Jack wants him to constantly have the what is it on some kind of history mythology.
Greek mythology.
He wants a Greek mythology question to give him. And boy, how Marge tries to get out of that every way he can. And every time he does, Jack's got another way to flip it back to that. He does that, I think, 3 times. So it's like, oh no, look at that. What a surprise. Your general knowledge question is on Greek mythology. And then he gets it right. So now it's even better. So anyway, no, this is a fun episode. Anything else on this one, Terry, that we didn't cover, or Kathy, or anything?
No, I would say, but again, the preview for Climax, which may have been on 3 weeks a month, alternate to this show, just the incredibly low production value. This is the one with Sylvia Sidney and the other actors just sort of appearing in a black backdrop with just a light on their face. It's like, whoa, is this 1948? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the production values, when you watch something from this vintage, from around anywhere from 52 to 58 time frame, it's all over the map. Some shows have it seems like no production value, and other ones have pretty decent production value. Just never, yeah.
Kathy, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I had wondered in this and in previous episodes of Shower of Stars whether those other stars who were in the upcoming episode had been there and just came on to promote the next week's show, or whether it had been.
And I hope they got paid an extra $10 to have to show
Well,
up.
I think maybe because the announcer says at the end parts of this program were pre-recorded. I think maybe they had done that in
Because
advance.
why? That'd be it's like, you're not paying me enough to have to come down to Television City.
Right.
But if you're doing that, why not put a little more production value into it? So apparently I'm not a CBS programmer,
or executive counting the
pennies. So
yeah. I guess the other thing we should say is that the previous episode of the series was 5 days before the election, the presidential election.
Yeah.
And so on this one, we now know who won, and it was not Adlai Stevenson. No. Spoiler alert.
No, it wasn't Adlai Stevenson. It was Nixon who won this election and was our president in 1950s. Yeah. No.
Oh, that's so he just refused to acknowledge that. Okay. And finally made it back in 68. Okay.
Where's my almanac?
They're going to throw us off the air. So, well, let's go back for a second since we're on politics. With Eisenhower, Eisenhower was a 2-term.
1952 and 1956.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So he had just been reelected right after the last.
That's I knew it was Eisenhower. I was just like, is that Eisenhower's second time? I thought it was. Yeah. Okay. So he beat Adlai Stevenson this last time.
Both times.
Oh, both times it was Adlai Stevenson ran against him twice. Okay.
It wasn't bad enough to lose to Eisenhower once. He had to
do it twice.
Do it again.
That's amazing that he actually was able to run a second time after losing. But
well, they didn't have Democrats didn't really have anybody.
But that's like ancient history. No one would ever lose an election then run again. That would make no sense.
Yeah, no, unheard of.
It'll never happen again. Anyway, here we go. So hope you're all going to enjoy this one. It truly is a shower of stars, like we're saying. There's a lot of folks in this, a lot of it's a fun one. Vincent Price does such a fun job in here, and Jack is Jack. Jack is always great to have in these things. So neat to have him. And we'll see you next time. We have another couple of these shower of stars to cover at some point, but I think most of them are like from 58 and 59 that are left. So we probably won't get to them until we actually get to the shows from 58 and 59. I try and bring them in somewhere close to our timeline, not exact.
That really helps with trying to think about the context. And
what was going on. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I think too. So yeah. All righty. Well, thank you both. have a great week. And like we say, I think we're all in agreement that we should say, go Seahawks. But
Go Seahawks.
yes, sure.
And go vote.
Yes,
And
we'll
go
go
vote.
vote. It's
Please.
important to vote. Yep. All right.